All right, guys, a couple of videos ago I showed you all the oil leak that's coming up from around the VTEC solenoid here. Originally I had replaced the gasket that has the little filter on it, little screen that actually comes in right here, but apparently there's another seal here, just a regular O-ring that's underneath these 3 bolts in the actual solenoid there that can begin to leak and cause this. So it's actually 2 gaskets in that area. Also, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this today. I do have both of those gaskets in. They actually came in last Friday, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on for you and show you how it's done, how easy it can be to fix a leak in the VTEC solenoid gasket and cam retainer. I don't know what you call that thing. But here we go. All right, here is what you will need for today's little adventure. You will need a 10mm socket with the, I don't know, 3-inch extension on it, makes it a little bit easier. You will need 8mm Allen wrench, or the equivalent with a ratchet. Either way, 8mm. That's what goes in here. I've got a bottle of degreaser to try to get the junk off of the block and all the other spots down there, and a bottle of water to help get the degreaser off when I'm done. Obviously I'm not really going to bother trying to clean it until it's actually complete. And also the 2 important parts here. This is the part number for the O-ring that goes to the cam retention. Okay, just a small little O-ring there. There's a part number if you're looking for it. You can find it, get it. So I had to get mine on eBay. And this is the upper VTEC solenoid gasket. That is what is supposedly leaking. So you can see that thing looks a little odd. If you look at VTEC solenoid gaskets from other Honda cars, they all look similar, but not exactly the same. So this is S2000 specific, and I wish I had a part number for that. I don't see it here. I'll try to find it and get it on the video description for you so you know that as well. Let's go ahead and get this thing off of here and see what kind of damage we got. I got home about an hour ago, so it's still warm. There we go. Okay, not a whole lot of fuss to get that off. For now. And that comes off, so this whole thing should wiggle off. Oh, well, it's not really wiggling, but hey. All right, yeah, it definitely looks like it's been leaking around there. Oh yeah, flattening some spots. Oh, it's really caked on there. All right, well, let me go get some paper towels and something to actually dig that out with. All right, so I never refocused my camera, so I'm doing that now, but it's just 3 bolts on top, and wiggle a little bit and it pops off. This is what it looks like. So take the 3 bolts out. You can just lay it down right there. This normally is clipped into this, but that broke a long time ago. So I'm gonna go get something to dig this out with, and I can already tell that it's definitely corroded a lot. You can see some little bits of rubber still on there from the gasket. So I'm gonna go do that real quick and I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. So I'm just gonna take a little screwdriver here. I don't have a pick set, so I'll do what I can with this. Oh man, yeah, that's really flat. You can see where it's been coming off of one side there, probably for a little while now. But just wipe that down to get it somewhat clean. That's definitely the culprit. This thing is flat and brittle. No wonder it was leaking. It's not actually broken, but it's definitely walked a little bit inside that groove. All right, let's get the new one out. Get a little bit of that oil that's left over. Coat the gasket. Just get whatever's left on that. And this is much more pliable, much more flexible, so should do me pretty good there. And actually it was stuck to this side, but it's supposed to go in this side. Make sure it stays on there while I put that in place. Just want to start the bolts and slowly torque them down, since there's only 3 of them and it'll be in a circular pattern. Alright, let's try this. A little bit brighter now. And just going to give it one last little torque down. Just 3 small bolts, nothing crazy. You don't have to crank down on it or anything. That's why I got this small ratcheting wrench here. Alright, that's on there. It's all good to go. Like I said, that's broken, but normally you should have a clip right here and this will go to that. I think it says something like this. I don't know. Okay, let's tackle that. The trick to this is apparently you got to be very careful and not back it out all the way. So let's just see what happens. That's not working. Let me get a bigger wrench. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I totally broke that free with a 19mm box end wrench. That sucker's on there good. Now, the thing is, you can only back it out so far, and then you gotta pull the head. So, let's try this, and hopefully it will not cause me to have to pull the head off. But, just back it out enough. Okay, let me go get something sharp so I can dig that sucker out. All right, and I'm back. I've got a safety pin. Like I said, I need to get a pick set, but I never did. Okay, now this is just a little O-ring in here, like I said, and it comes off the head end, which is kind of odd, but hey, that's good for us anyways, because we can actually fix this problem. Probably struggle a little bit just because it's stuck onto this bolt. There we go. Yeah, that's super flat too. Oh yeah, that's all corroded. Little bits of rubber falling off of it. It almost looks like a worn serpentine belt. Now you can't see it, but that's it. And then I've got, close that sucker up. Don't want to get poked. I've got the new gasket here. Very pliable, very flexible. Make sure you got enough lube on your new gasket. And just slide it over from the front side. It should roll right into place. Easy as that. Wipe my hands off a little bit. Torque this thing back down. Be real ginger with it, so it seats properly. Put my trusty 19mm on it again, see what I can do with it. It was on there pretty good, like I said. There we go. Okay, I'd say we're pretty good with that. Hopefully 2 oil leaks taken care of. So now we just gotta go clean everything up. I know y'all probably can't tell, but it's getting darker and darker out, so I've got to keep turning the ISO up and up. Anyway, let's check this thing out. Get all that nastiness off of it. By the way, that's why I parked in the grass today. You probably can't see that, but I knew I'd be doing this, so. This will help me see, if I get it all cleaned off, it'll help me see what's still leaking if it is. And if it is still leaking, do I want to even tackle it? I don't know. Let that sit for a minute. It's shiny already. A little bit of water now, just try to get it all off. Try not to leave that stuff sitting on there. This is a mixture of simple green and crud cutter. Or at least not this, obviously, the degreaser is that I was using. I don't want to let it sit on the paint too long or anything else. But at least it'll be clean enough where I can tell if it's still leaking in a couple days. So I'll check it out again in a couple days, see what it looks like. The last time I did the other gasket in here, it looked good for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I started noticing that it was a little wet again, and more wet, and finally I realized what was actually going on. There's another gasket up there that was bad. Like I said, what I'm spraying now is just water to try to get all that simple green and whatnot off of there. Probably clean off that cross member too with a real water hose, but not tonight. Alright, well, I'm done. I hope it was somewhat informative for you guys. Like I said, if you have an S2000, you notice a leak coming from there or there. More than likely, it's either the VTEC solenoid gasket upper or the main one with the screen on it, or it's that little O-ring right there. So don't fret if you have an S2000 that's leaking. That could be the problem, not anything major. I got up under this thing and actually looked at the rest of the block probably a couple of months ago, and it was still dry as a bone. The only thing that was wet at all was a result of whatever was going on up here. So hopefully that fixed it, and hopefully you learned something today, because I certainly did, because it's the first time I've ever done it, so I'm learning with you guys. Anyways, you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you on the next one.